Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to do a quick intro to the project that we talked briefly about in class on Monday, March 1st. But now we are going to talk a little bit more in depth about the actual procedures of the project, as well as kind of the guidelines, expectations, and we'll go over the examples a little bit more in depth too. So as you can see, we are on our Google Classroom classwork page, which is where the project is going to be housed. So if you scroll down, the project will be posted under the Unit 7 French Revolution heading. So you can see that the project is kind of in two little assignments sitting here that are not yet posted, but by the time you're watching this video, it will be posted, obviously. So let's start here under the actual project guidelines, which is Instagramming the French Revolution project guidelines. So looking at this assignment, it says, as we discussed yesterday, which is really Monday, we are going to be starting our French Revolution project in class. You're going to watch this introductory video, which will now be posted below, but filming it right now. So that's why this is looks a little bit different. But there are two main Google Slide documents on here that I do want you to pay attention to. The first step of the project is actually going to be, like it says right here, this research sheet, which is up here. So this is what you're going to be completing before you even really start the project. So we'll take a look at that as well. But just to kind of give a little bit more introduction to what the project is going to be, we are going to click into this guidelines a document right here that we did go over in class on Monday the 1st. This document over here is your template. So when you see this document, it's actually going to have your name in front of it, and you're going to use this to create the project itself. So this is your fake Instagram account right over here. So let's click into this document. It'll bring up a Google Slides doc. What I'd recommend that you do is use this little zoom arrow to zoom in, make it a little bit bigger. And as we said in class, this whole project is based on this kind of story of you being transported back in time with a cell phone to the French Revolution. As you watch these events unfold, you're going to take pictures and post them so people back in your time can see exactly how the events happened. You are going to pick 5 major events from the French Revolution. It could be the moderate period, the radical period after that. And you're going to create posted document. Who was there? What was happening? And why exactly it was so important and so influential. So as I said in class, you will not be creating an account on Instagram for this project. We will have our little fake Instagrams on our Google Slides templates, and that will be your account, quote unquote there. So you're going to choose 5 major events to livegram. You can pick from this list or choose others. So we have a bunch on this list, so you can definitely just pick right off the list. These are all things we have in our notes we've talked about in class, so that's a really great jumping off point if you're not sure what some of these are. So poverty in the third estate. You can talk about Louis XVI becoming king, creating problems, kind of his tiffs and arguments with the estates. The Estates General being called to Versailles, swearing the tennis court, the storming of the Bastille. All of these are really great events and they will work. But you can kind of pick and choose. You can combine these. You can really feel free to kind of get creative here. These are just some ideas to start with. Like I said, the next step in this process is going to be doing research. So you're going to complete the research page posted on Classroom to look up dates, information, images, and kind of record all of that and keep it in one place. You're going to use the research sheet to eventually kind of put all of that stuff together for your final project in the template. You do have to turn this research sheet in. So it is going to be a separate project grade. So as we said in class, this project itself is worth about 50 points. The research sheet will also be worth additional project points. So that is, again, something that you need to definitely keep in mind and keep on top of that you're turning it in on time and you're turning it in well done. And our last step after you do your research is going to be making your gram. So using the template that I just showed you back on classwork page, which we'll return to in a second, you're going to use the template to actually put the actual product together and create a faux Instagram account. So the project must include, this is a good little checklist here to see if you're on the right track. You have to have 5 separate posts, 1 picture for each post. So you're going to have 5 total at 2 points each. 1 caption for each post, which is 5 total. Those are 6 points each. All captions have to be 5 complete, well thought out sentences. So you should have a short paragraph put together for each of these. You need to have a clever username for your account. It's 1 point each slide. So obviously there's 5 different slides, posts you're going to create, and those are 1 point each. So that's 5 points total. And then tagging the locations. The locations need to be accurate. So that's something you're going to have to include in your research, and that is worth 1 point each. So obviously doing a little bit of math here, it's about 10 points per post times 5 posts is a 50-point project. And obviously, like we said, the research sheet is separate from that. So those additional points there. Let's take a look at our example post here. So I did show you this in class, so we'll go over it quickly. Here you can see that I have my account name, which is worth a point. I have my accurate tagged location, which is worth a point. I have my picture here, which is, I believe, worth 5 points. Sorry, let me check. 2 points each. Sorry, 5 total, 2 points each. So my picture is worth 2 points, and then my caption is the really important part here. So as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 complete sentences here, a very short little paragraph all put together. And I'm not writing it like I'm a historian, right? I'm writing it in the style like I'm acting like I'm actually there, right, at 4:30 a.m. this morning, which is really obviously historical, right? You're acting like you were in the time period, and then using that accurate information that I have done through a little bit of research. So this is the example that I would like you to come back to. Yours is going to look pretty similar, if not almost exactly the same as this. Obviously, your captions will not be the same as mine, but that's the general style that you guys should be kind of aiming for. All right, so next we are going to go talk about the research sheet, and I will show you your template. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so before we take a look at our research sheet, which is going to involve kind of the most legwork, let's take a quick look at this template that you're going to be using, which is posted here. Yours, like I said, will have your name in front of it. But let's open this up. So the template for this project is essentially 5 identical slides. So you'll see them all over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 identical duplicated templates for you to fill out. You don't have to do any of the legwork in like designing the Instagram post, but what you are going to do is essentially fill this in. So where it says type username here, you're going to get rid of all of this, right? Even these little brackets you're going to get rid of, and you're going to type your username. So you're going to go at French Rev Time Traveler. Okay, so that would be, my example username here, but obviously you can make that say whatever you want. Get rid of that. You're going to type a location underneath. So as you saw in my example post, the Palace of Versailles, the Place de Revolution, whatever it is, make sure you try to be accurate about this. Sometimes it's a little bit hard, but I don't want you typing France for every single one or Paris for every single one, because that's not going to add any interest value. Next, you're going to put your picture here. So like we said, 2 points per picture. So you can actually just kind of delete this box if you want. You can get rid of the text, or you can just post a picture over it. That's totally fine. And then this is the important part down here. This is where your caption is going to go. So as you can see, it looks kind of small right now, but this is actually 20-point font. So what I would recommend that you do is, as you're working on these, you can zoom in, and you can make your caption bigger or smaller as it needs, or make the text of your caption bigger or smaller as you need it. Remember, you're fitting 5 complete sentences here, a paragraph. So if you need to make the text smaller to make it fit, you can do that. Okay, so overall, you should have 5 posts. They should probably go in chronological order. That would be the most logical way to organize these. And this is the actual final product that you're going to be turning in along with that research sheet. So speaking of which, let's go take a look at that. So your research sheet is going to be created before you even touch that template. So nothing will go on this template until you are completely done with this research sheet. So as it says, you have to plan, use it to write your captions, keep your links for your pictures, keep the links to the sources you end up using. This is, like we said, worth a project grade. So let's open that up as well. So the research page, it is going to be pretty similar. It's kind of fill in the blank. I did a lot of the legwork of the organization here for you, but this is just to help you kind of keep all of this organized. So this is an example up here that I did. So this example would be for the execution of Robespierre. So let's say that was one of the events that I chose to cover. I would post a link to the picture I was going to use. So it's at examplelink.google.com. So what you would really be doing under possible picture is you would get rid of this text and paste the link of the picture that you're using. Your caption info, you can either do one of two things. You can actually write out your captions. So if you want to rough draft your captions on here, that would be a really great plan. Or what you can do is just kind of bullet point the information that you want to use. So either one of those is totally acceptable. Whatever style works best for you, I encourage you to use. And then lastly, you're going to paste the source. So either link or links. If you have more than one source that you used to find the information for your caption, for your event, you're going to paste all of them here. So I'm not making you do a works cited page for this project. We're just kind of practicing compiling sources, paraphrasing, all of those really important skills. So all you really have to do is paste the URL link of whatever source you use down here. So for the example up here, my source was my notes from class, which you can use as a source if you want to use your notes from class, or you can use our online textbook. But if you use anything outside of this, which I recommend that you do, just to get some practice, I use the source from history.com, which was the day that Robespierre was overthrown in France. It's a This Day in History activity or article. And that's, again, really reliable. History.com is pretty good as sources go, especially for a project like this. It's really useful. So I posted the link that I used here. Again, doesn't have to have an author's name. We're not going into any of that. We're just kind of practicing taking notes and using other sources other than our own textbook. So as you can see, there's one of these for every single post. So post number 1, if it was the storming of the Bastille, you would write the storming of the Bastille. Post number 2, if you were talking about the execution of Marie Antoinette, you would write Marie Antoinette gets guillotined. And then you're going to put all of the information under the appropriate posts. Okay, so this again is worth a project grade. Please do not make the mistake of not giving it the attention that it deserves. This is the real legwork of the project, because then once you have this done, all you really got to do is take this information and transfer it over to your template. So this is step number 1 in the project that I think you should really focus on. We're going to be doing a lot more focus on the research in class. And then you will be working on the template once we have gone over all of the appropriate research. The last thing I did want to point out, if you need help finding sources, please use our librarians. They have a help website, kind of like a help sign up on our library website. I'll be posting that link. Or you can sign up for office hours with me. So either one of those are a really good option if you need help with this project outside of class time. You can sign up with either our lovely librarians or with me. All right, and that is pretty much all I had to say about this project. Please make sure to do your exit ticket for today, and then you are all set.